Hey guys, so have you ever seen one of those Disney movies where it ends in marriage or some sort of happy ending like, I don't know, Cinderella, Little Mermaid? Well, I'm going to tell you the original versions of all of those movies and how your childhood was a lie. Now, if you don't want your childhood ruined, I would suggest clicking on a different video because this is not the video for you. Now, the first videos I'm going to show you are videos that are Disney movies that have slight changes, and the second second stories I'm going to show you are Disney completely changed from the original version. Now, the first one I'm going to have to tell you about is Snow White. In the Disney version, Snow White, no, her stepmother asked the woodsman to cut out her heart and bring it to her, and in the end, she dies by falling off a cliff. In the original version, the stepmother actually asked for all of her intestines and all that gross stuff, and when the woodsman brought it to her, which it wasn't Snow White, it was like a pig's or something, she ate it, thinking it was Snow White's, and it was disgusting. In the end, the prince made her dance in these iron-hot shoes until she bled to death. So that's disgusting. In Cinderella, it is in the Disney version, she ends up just getting, the stepsisters can't fit into the shoes, but she can, and she ends up getting married and living happily ever after. In the original version, the stepsisters actually did fit in them because they cut off parts of their feet, and these two birds ended up telling the prince they did this, and the prince told them to go peck out their eyes so they would be blind beggars, and they did. So the stepsisters are blind, missing parts of their feet, and Cinderella gets married. I don't know. Now these are complete different. Now I'm going to tell you parts where Disney changed completely. The Little Mermaid, guess what? She doesn't get married in the end. She ends up dying because she walks into the ocean and turns to sea foam because Prince Eric decided to marry some phony who was pretending to be her. Actually, the original Little Mermaid was written in the early 1800s, and this is probably about the first time that people started hearing about mermaids. I don't know that, but I don't know. He didn't actually call them mermaids at all in the story. Sleeping Beauty, this is probably the most disgusting one. The king actually raped Sleeping Beauty in her sleep because he just did, and she ended up getting impregnated and ended up having 2 kids in her sleep, and she ended up waking up because one of her kids ended up sucking out the thorn that was in her finger. So she woke up and she ended up with having 2 kids, which is gross. Hunchback of Notre Dame, but I'm not going to tell you because you are probably bored. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, or however you want to say it, he was deaf. Guess what? He dies in the end too. Esmeralda ended up getting raped by Phoebus, and that king dude, he ended up killing him and blamed Esmeralda, and she was hung. And Quasimodo killed what's his name, Frollo, and for this, and he ended up going to Esmeralda, crawling up by her corpse, and he ended up starving to death. That probably ruined your entire childhood. I have plenty more to tell you, but I'm not going to because they're all worse than that. Please subscribe because it's my first video. Hope you like it. And if you didn't like it, you were probably grossed out. Subscribe anyway. Bye, guys.